In the world of darkness, every human being has a single spark of potential. We humans come into the world with open eyes, and then we take our first breaths and begin to close those eyes and scream. Most people never open their eyes again after that, or when they do, they see only what they want to see, what they're told to see. But some people take that first breath and then wake up. They might feel sleepy for a while, but there always comes a point when dreaming just isn't enough for them. That's the awakening, the thing that makes mages what they are. Hello, and welcome to another lore video on Mage the Ascension. In the last video, we talked about the relationship between science, magic, and reality. And in this video, we'll talk about the worlds mages walk. The mortal world itself feels infinite. There are miracles in plain sight if and when one has the eyes to see them. Most mortals would rather spend all day on the internet, chatting about nothing with people they'll never meet, than take a walk outside and open themselves to the sensations they typically shut out. Just by watching a street with an observant eye and ear, one could see and hear new things. Not all of them would be pleasant, but life is a great and terrible gift, wrapped in love and suffering. Those who seek only one will never recognize either for the wonder it truly is. And yet this world holds far more. Almost everyone has flashes of the periphery, that corner of the eye sensation that gives one a glimpse, a hint of something beyond the materialistic world. These glimpses don't necessarily have to be visual. A person might smell whiffs of brimstone or roses that aren't physically there at the time, or hear a whisper when no one else is in the room. Dreams, déjà vu, that prickly sense of having someone walk over your grave, that's the periphery. It's where experienced reality departs from scientific proof. You can't measure it, but you know it's real. Certain people are more attuned to this level of reality than others are, and mages call this perception awareness. A person with this degree of awareness can sense things most folks miss. They might see auras, note phantom smells, or feel especially drawn to or repulsed by people with strong resonance about them. An aware person could be thought of as a sleepwalker, too perceptive to be truly asleep, yet not totally awakened in the formal sense. Such awareness often signals an imminent awakening, but not always, with lots of people spending their entire lives at this level of perception. If the worlds where mages walk are like an onion, then the periphery is the smell of that onion. Extend that preference to a person's perceptions of the other worlds, and you have what Hermetic mages call the vidare or vidare astral, a heady perspective of vivid clarity. A person who thinks in complex, abstract terms experiences the other worlds as a sparking latticework of elaborate geometry, filled with archetypal concepts and shining energy. Scientists, academics, and spiritualists tend to see the other worlds this way. Meanwhile, a person who lives life with elemental passion experiences a sensual banquet of potent sensations. The Vidare spiritus reflects a raw and vibrant perspective, life lived from the heart and guts. Shamans, witches, and ecstatics view their world this way, with an animalistic purity that, though not always enjoyable, feels naturally raw. Melancholy souls who regard life as the doorway to death endure the vidare mortem, a literal grave perspective. This is the proverbial dirty glass, a grim view of the world as seen from the dirt beneath your feet. Whereas the astral view sees bright colors, the mortem offers up shadows. Whereas the spiritus perspective feels life with fang and claw, the death's eye view reveals bones and decay. One's personal experiences shade the way they perceive a greater reality, but it's especially true when one steps beyond the borders of the mortal realm. Although the otherworld's layers surround our world, the gauntlet is the skin one must bite through in order to reach the other layers. Thinner in the wilderness than it is in built-up regions, the gauntlet seems to conform to the local level of so-called civilization. Areas with heavy concentrations of industrial technology have very thick gauntlets, but remote or haunted areas have thin ones. Mages have lots of theories about the gauntlet. In some, all the worlds were once a single realm, perhaps part of a cosmic oneness that shattered into infinity. In the first days, spirits and living beings were all the same thing, with no barriers between them. Gradually, though, forces of fear and dogma forced the realms apart, blocking passage with the gauntlet. Other, less romantic theories maintain that the realms had to be forced apart in order to protect the living from the dead, or to seal off demons from the world of humanity. Certain theories blame the technocracy, but the gauntlet existed long before they did, and though they've certainly thickened it, the barrier isn't their creation. Other philosophies claim that the gauntlet has always been there, the skin of the world, protecting it and holding it together. Wherever it came from, however long it's been there, the gauntlet exists. To reach beyond this world, one has to pass through, and that's not easy. If it was, everyone would do it. For a brief but terrifying period, awakened travelers found it almost impossible to pass through the gauntlet at all. Some metaphysical cataclysm, again blamed on the technocracy, shattered portions of the other worlds and filled the passageways with shrapnel. Awful cosmic winds tore around the gauntlet, shredding the bodies and souls of anyone who dared to cross over. This avatar storm inflicted gruesome setbacks on mystic mages, especially those who called the otherworlds a second home. In time, however, the astral winds calmed down, allowing passage through a thicker but no longer hazardous gauntlet. Most mages never go to farther places than this. Otherworldly travel is a dangerous and complex discipline, especially in the present day. And though certain will workers depend on the worlds beyond for their spiritual or technological practices, most never leave the mortal realm, and there are good reasons for this. It's easy to get lost out there and never find your way home again. Mages who do go beyond the barriers, however, become well acquainted with the hordes of eerie entities that live outside this realm. In the next Mage the Ascension lore video, we're going to continue discussing the worlds where mages walk. I make videos multiple times a week, and every Monday is either Masquerade or Mage Monday, so if you enjoy what I do, please consider subscribing. Now remember, Awakened Ones, reality is what you make of it.